Tamsguitar.com, and now we are going to take a look at some simple ideas that can help you sound much better and precise, and also it will be easier for you to handle chord progressions that are not defined by basic major minor scales. And before we get started, I would like to request you to visit my website musiccircle.in and tamsguitar.com, and I would highly recommend that you check out my courses Major Scale from Scratch and Basic Theory, and also Arpeggios from Scratch, in case you are unable to grasp these concepts. And also please note that if you are looking for Skype lessons, feel free to get in touch with us, and if you are in Kolkata or in Pune, then also you can get in touch for in-person lessons. And now let's get started. So here we are not going to think in terms of scale. So I found this backing track. It's a beautiful backing track. I'll share the link below. You can use these concepts to solo over this backing track. So here the chord progression they have used is like this, and I'll get into details and give you some ideas how you can solo over this chord progression without thinking of a scale. However, this is in C minor, So basically, if you are playing the C minor pentatonic scale, it's not exactly in C minor, but however, if you are playing the C minor pentatonic scale, you can survive. But the idea of this video is not to limit you to certain scale shapes. In order to target the notes or the chord tones, the following ideas will be helpful. So here the chord progression is A flat major 7, then it goes to G7, then C minor 7 or C minor, whatever you feel like, and then there's a diminished chord, B diminished. So the vibe is like this. So in order to solo, over this backing track, the best thing to do is approach individual arpeggios, and the more we start moving between these arpeggio shapes and target the chord tones, the better it's going to sound. It's going to be sounding very precise, and also using this trick, you can sound like a pro. So this video might take you a few months to master, because the idea is to learn the chord shapes throughout the fretboard. But in order to keep the video precise and give you the right kind of idea so that you can work on it, I have decided that we are going to discuss the scale shape based around the 4th and 5th fret, from this position, plus 5, 6 frets, we are going to take the scale shape. So first things first, before you attempt soloing over this, you should be prepared with your scale shape, or not the scale shape but the arpeggio. So A flat major 7 arpeggio has got these notes. You can follow along the diagram provided. A flat C, E flat G, da, 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 da. And I would highly recommend that while learning this shape, you learn the intervals 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3. Okay, and also sing the notes. What I mean is da, 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 da. In order to sing these notes, you won't have to be a great vocalist. You can kind of match the tone of the notes and sing. So this is your major 7 sound. So this will introduce you to the sounds as well. So after this you have a G7 arpeggio, and the notes are G, B, D, F, G, B, D, F, G, B. Alright, so this is also pretty standard shape. And here, if you use your brain, major 7 has got a major 7 and a dominant 7 has got a flat 7. So applying this here, so you can create melodies later. And now get used to the sound. Alright, and similarly, follow the diagram and try to learn the other shape as well. So here, instead of starting from G, you can start from the B note also. So B, D, F, G, B, D, F, G. So this shape is also very handy. So here we are not starting from the root note. So it will help you to navigate between different shapes. If you are used to only starting from root, it may cause problem later. So while you learn the position starting from the root, you also should learn the shapes, that doesn't start from the root. I'm sorry. And the next chord is, C minor 7. So this is a pretty simple shape because minor 7 chords are based around the minor pentatonic scale. One note minus the minor pentatonic scale is going to give you the minor 7 arpeggio. So C minor 7, we have C, E flat, G, B flat, C, E flat, G, B flat. And we are not going to stop here. We can start from the 5th, that is G. So G, B flat, C flat, G, B flat, C flat, G, B flat. Alright, so learn this shape. And another shape that you need to learn is from here. Or maybe you can start from the flat 7. So follow the fretboard diagram. Alright. Now it's time to learn the B diminished arpeggio. And the good news is the B diminished arpeggio and G7 arpeggio are almost similar. Apart from the G note, it uses, instead of the G note, it uses a G sharp or A flat. So B, D, F, A flat. Alright, and if you play the B diminished arpeggio over a G7 chord, it gives you a flat 9 sound, because A flat is the flat 9 of G. Alright, so a little bit of theory always helps. Alright, so this is how you can connect the dots. And now if you want to look at it here also, B, D, F, A flat, B, D, F, A flat, da, oops. Alright, so now I leave it to you to practice, these arpeggios up and down. So just follow the chord progression and play. I'll give you an example. So let's start with A flat major 7, 3, 5 major 7, now G7. I'll start from the B note, then C minor 7, then B diminished, okay. So just get used to this sound and keep on playing this exercise. Alright, then again it starts. So once you start playing this, you make some visualization, and then I'll give you some ideas before we finish the video. In this position, just track the notes, instead of playing the entire chunk. Now break it down into small pieces. Major 7, okay. So I'm trying to focus on the chord notes here. So when the major 7 is coming, so I'm playing, because this is the major 7, this is the root of A flat. So you have already learned this shape, so I can start from any note. I won't have to start from the root. Sorry, one wrong note. I played the flat 7 by mistake. Alright, I'm sorry. So instead of going like this, I can start from here. Then immediately it comes to the G7. I don't have much time to spend on one arpeggio. So when I'm here on this note, this is your E flat, I go to D. D is coming from the G7, right? GBD. So, and once I land on the D note, I can move, through the notes of G7. But I don't have much time, so I have to be careful. And again I land on the D note, which is common to C scale. So this is the 9th. And I'm playing the C minor 7 arpeggio, or rather the minor 9. So if you don't want to play the D note in C also, so what you can do, the creativity depends on you, how you want to phrase. And then what happens after a slight break, I can just play the diminished arpeggio here. I can start the similar concept, I can start from any note I want. In this case, I'm starting from the A flat note. And see, the next chord is again A flat major, so I can end on the A flat note, which is part of the B diminished, and in order to outline the new chord, I can just move back to the G note. So I'll demonstrate once again, but I know that these things take quite some time to register, so don't be frustrated. Just use this concept, and like I'm showing you in one position, you pick another position and do the same thing. So the more you do in different positions, the picture will be clear. I'm working on it currently for my own betterment, and I hope that it'll help you as well. So here, since this is in C minor, moves back to the C minor sound. So you have the privilege to use the pentatonic scale. So I was just noodling around in this position. So what I was thinking of, major 7, then G7. So A flat, major 7 and G7. Then back to the C minor pentatonic. You can fool around here a little bit. Okay, so you can use your standard pentatonic licks here, and then it moves to the B diminished. So find the scale position here. This one is pretty common. Okay. So here this shape you can use. Okay, I'm again resolving back to that A major 7 because it starts here, but the main pull of this progression is C minor. And if you're finding it too difficult to handle, then you can, for the time being, continue with your minor pentatonic scale and still sound good. So let's see. So this is how you can use the pentatonic scale. If you can just manage the phrasing, then it can sound good as well. But the idea is not to get restricted by any scale. Once you start playing the arpeggios and eventually once you start applying, then the good phrases will start happening. It takes a lot of time, so I'm sure it's gonna work for you. But one thing, when you're playing these kind of scales using arpeggios or maybe without arpeggios, what you need to look out for, there are important spaces. For example, if you can notice, when I was playing the minor pentatonic scale, I was mostly leaving the B diminished chords. I was not entering in the first beat, so probably I was entering on the third or the fourth beat, or maybe completely I'm letting it go. Then this sound is not going to interfere and you can still sound cool by only playing the minor pentatonic scale. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it helps. And before I finish, as always, I would like to request you to visit my websites musiccircle.in and tamsguitar.com, and please feel free to check out my courses. And also, if you're looking for Skype lessons, get in touch with us. And also, don't forget to follow, or you shouldn't follow. You should follow. So follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you soon with the next video. Take care. Bye bye.